We are brought to you by Picasso's Pizza. I've said this for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 months, my entire life. Picasso's Pizza is where it's at. I moved to Buffalo, moved away from Buffalo. I'm so happy to squish the fish today. I can't even get my thoughts out right. Sorry, guys. I moved away from Buffalo last May, and I really missed Buffalo pizza. And Picasso's, they fixed that problem for me by shipping me 2 large pies, and I got 1 left. Ate 1 last week. The Long Islanders I lived with said it was good pizza, so you know it's good pizza. Just they've taken care of me, so we want to take care of them and make sure as many of you guys are going their way as possible. So make them a part of your game day traditions for today. Get the pizza for halftime, get it for after the game, get one for both. I don't care. Just help out our friends at Picasso's Pizza. Now's the time to support local businesses and do so by supporting Picasso's. Bills game day, big day. First matchup against the Dolphins of the year. We got Ty B here. Ty, how's it going over there?
It's going great. Just got off Picasso'sPizza.net, picking out what I was going to get later on. So many appetizing options. But I think I might end up going with sushi today. Eat the fish. Let's go.
Love to hear it. Mark, what are you dining on today for lunch?
Oh, man. I'm going to have to give me one of those pizzas, man. Probably going to crush it to myself. My girlfriend's going to be mad at me, but it's whatever.
Yeah, it's just get an extra, but get 2 pizzas. Just get 2.
Dog's got to eat.
Yeah, man.
Well, who's not going to be eating today, unfortunately? Hate to start on a negative note, but, biggest news of the week are Matt Milano and Tremaine Edmonds, 2 big losses at the linebacker position. Obviously with, the culture that they have, the next up mentality, it seems like, A.J. Klein, Tyrell Dodson, Delshon Phillips will be able to get in there and maybe make a...
Phillips is out, too.
Oh, Phillips is out, too? Okay, so Tyler Matakevich then coming in, and then I think we brought in Delon Lacey, brought him on for this, spot start here. What are you guys worried about when it comes to these linebackers being out? Because, the defensive line, I know they can hold their own. The secondary is going to be able to stop Fitzpatrick. But when it comes to that middle area of the field, do you guys think this could spell some trouble? We'll go to Ty first here.
Yeah, I think it really starts with what the defensive line can do. Are you going to be able to get some penetration on the runs as well, but not overly penetrate, be able to stay in your gaps? I think that gap integrity that we've heard so much from Sean McDermott over these last few years is going to come into a crucial point for the Bills defense this week, because as long as they're able to stay in their gaps, you have, as a linebacker, you only have your 1 or 2 spots that you have to, be wary of. And I think they can shut that down. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to do too much in that run game. It's very, very interesting what they have in the backfield. They have a lot of guys like Jordan Howard, but I believe he only got 8 touches last week, and he's getting over $9 million a year. So
$1 million a touch.
It doesn't make a lot of sense what their offense is doing. Chan Gailey is the offensive coordinator, so I don't think they're going to take a ton of shots. I think as long as that offensive line or defensive line stays disciplined, I think anyone behind them, as long as you know your roles, know your gaps that you're responsible for, is going to be able to close that down. I think you'll see Saran Neal in there a little bit, Klein and Matakevich. Hopefully Dodson. This could be a real standout game for him. I'm hearing his name around a lot. A lot of guys are talking about him, but I don't know how you feel about it, Mark.
Yeah, I agree with you with the linemen. Hopefully they step up too. Mike has they have 2 rookie offensive linemen. I want to see us go at those guys today. Maybe relieve a little pressure off of those backers that are stepping in. Dotson, I've been hearing things as well about him. I was reading that McDermott, he likes the way he stepped up last week. It's going to be interesting who's going to be calling the plays between him and Klein. Maybe Klein gets the play calling duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I'm not too worried. Yeah, it hurts. Tremaine Edmonds, his sideline to sideline play is it's insane. So we'll just see what happens. Hopefully Ed Oliver has a big game and that line really
My one worry is because of Chan Gailey here is possibly that screen game and what it could do if you don't have those linebackers who are so flowy and just move to the play so well. I think if the defensive line, again, this is where they need to stay disciplined too. As soon as you read that, you need to get off and get over sideline to sideline. It's coming. With Chan Gailey, you might even see some middle screens. So you got to be responsible for your position. You can read those things as a defensive lineman early. You know you're not going to get to the quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't a real running threat.
Yeah.
So you got to know, just back off, screw the pass rush, let him do whatever he's going to do. If anything, just keep it to a short gain. You saw a great play last week. I think it was it Jerry Hughes or Trent Murphy? Leaning in, stopping that screen, for a 1 or 2 yard gain where it could have gone easily for over 20 yards. So that's going to be another thing to look out for.
Yeah, it's like a reliever too, though, because you have Hughes and Murphy. And Murphy, I think the last 5 games he played, he's had like 6 sacks. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
So Hughes and him on the outside. I mean, I'm that line, man. That line.
Yeah, no, it's all about the line, and Tyrell Dotson had a sack last week, so I think that he'll be able to be an impact player in the game. But when it just comes, I'm not going to say that Mike Gesicki is going to tear us apart in the middle or anything like that. But he's an athletic tight end. But with Devontae Parker at least questionable right now, I'm sure we'll hear about his whether he's going to play or not more around noon or so. He's a game time decision. But if he does go, that's still like 3 offensive weapons we really have to worry about. So it's not the weapons I'm worried about, but as Ty and you and Mark have said, it's about how they use them and if they use them in the screen game and everything. Because we saw the Jets take a screen to the house in the first game of the season, and it was the only play where they looked like an offense that belongs in the NFL. So if there's a way for the Dolphins to attack us, that's probably the way to do it. And Ryan Fitzpatrick has always played up when he's played against the Bills. I saw a stat earlier. He's completed like 67% of his passes, thrown for around 300 yards a game. I'm not sure. I think it's like 600 yards in 2 games for the Dolphins, something like that. But last week he threw 3 interceptions against the Patriots. So, I don't think I'm overly worried about stopping Ryan Fitzpatrick, especially, it seems like the Fitzmagic has worn off of him a little bit.
Well, yeah, you look at the entirety of his weapon core at receiver besides Devontae Parker, Preston Williams, Isaiah Ford, Jakeem Grant, Matt Collins, Malcolm Perry. None of those guys scare me at all. You trade and you get a guy like Lynn Bowden, but is he going to get you any time, really? I don't know about that. Like, he's a guy who could do some dynamic things, but are they going to use him in those roles? Who knows? I don't think necessarily that Chan Gailey is the guy to do that. He might, throw him out there for a screen or something, but that's about as exotic as he's going to get.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a lot of Saran Neal matched up on Gesicki, especially if they're going to be splitting him out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He is a good pass-catching tight end. He can block pretty well as well. But I like the matchups from the defense, especially with the secondary. I think that gives you a little bit of flexibility too, bringing a safety down into the box. You're not too worried about having to double team anyone, so they can also help in that run game. I think that'll be a big key. Watching maybe how many tackles Poyer and Hyde are able to get coming down into the box. I think they could be some saviors as well. And some real, a veteran presence who's seen all this before, telling these blockers what to do, what to look out for in certain situations.
Yeah, for sure. And, I would say if we're lucky not to have the injuries, obviously, but that they're coming against the Dolphins. This isn't a team that is supposed to be winning with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they might have the weakest core of weapons other than the Jets on our schedule this year. So, it's definitely, especially with how it's supposed to be rainy and everything down there, I don't want to risk these guys getting hurt and everything. It's nice to see they avoided going on the IR. McDermott was a little hesitant to deny it or say they would or whatever earlier in the week, but the fact that they haven't, it seems like maybe it's possible they're not back for the Rams game next week. But if we only miss them for 2 games, that's pretty huge. We'll move into keys to the game here. And for me, I want to get away from the linebackers a little bit and talk about the Dolphins defense. Their cornerbacks are 2 of the best cornerbacks in the league, Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. That's no surprise to anybody, but they're both banged up. I believe it was Howard with a knee and Byron Jones with his Achilles. Xavier Howard had season-ending knee surgery just last year. So to see that these problems are still lingering, I want to attack those corners right from the get-go. We know that the easiest way to beat the Dolphins is to run it, and that's probably what they're expecting. I feel like if we do what we did against the Jets, go pass heavy at the beginning. I feel like that's the way to really get them off balance early and kind of, set the tone for the game. So for me, I really want to be attacking that secondary. They were the number 1 pass defense in the NFL and the number 32 run defense. So it could be something, to exploit there, especially with the injuries. Mark, we've talked about obviously, establishing some presence against that offensive line. What else are you looking for from the Bills today?
See Allen clean up those fumbles a little bit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, Cam and the Patriots torched this defense. I think it was 217 yards rushing they had against them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and I do believe the Bills have a better offense, too, than the Patriots. I'm going to say that. I would like to see Allen clean up those fumbles because, he's going to be pretty mobile. And his history against the Dolphins the past couple of games, he has lit them up. And now he has a better offense, so just want to see that cleaned up. I do want to see him continue to get the ball out quickly like last week. I think he did a good job with that. And then I'm rooting for Diggs. I think Diggs is going to have one of those games because they're going to be pressing him. And like you said, they're all banged up. And Stephon Diggs one-on-one, that's a nightmare. You've seen even Trey White get burned in all those practice videos. So it's going to be exciting for Diggs today.
Yeah, definitely. And, you say Allen's dominated against the Dolphins. In 4 career starts, I'm looking at it now, 913 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 102.8 passer rating, 318 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. In total, that's 1,200 yards over 4 games, 13 total touchdowns.
That's good.
Yeah. So you're definitely right on there. Ty, one last key to the game for you, and then we'll go around the NFL and make some picks.
Yeah, I'd love your key. I'm going to piggyback off that, but I'm going to get a little bit more specific about it. Target that number 3 cornerback rookie Noah Igbinoghene. I think you're going to be able to get a lot of good looks for guys like Gabe Davis or especially Cole Beasley in the slot on him. You're going to be able to get open, get those quick passes. If you can keep getting those quick hitters early on in the game and establish that, 4 or 5, 6 yard passes over and over again, those add up. And those are why Josh Allen got over 300 yards last week. And that should, get the defense sitting, they're sitting back and then they have to start coming forward because they're used to these short passes over and over. And that's where you go over the top. That's how you open up a defense. And I think Josh Allen's going to be able to do that. I think he's learning to read these defenses a lot better. Yes, there's going to be some fans in the crowd. I wouldn't worry about the noise at all.
No.
I think if you're able to attack them quick with just, 1, 2, 3 step drops and goes, get the ball out in under 3 seconds. I love what Josh Allen did with it last week. Just expand on it this week, and you should have an easy sailing for the offense.
Yeah, Igbinoghene, he's a guy I liked coming out of Auburn, so it's not to say he's a scrub, but he is a rookie. And, the Levi Wallace and Trey White have all said that Cole Beasley has just been unguardable at practice. So he's probably one of the more underrated route runners in the league, which is kind of shocking. But now we'll go around the NFL. A lot of weird spreads, weird games this week. We're going to start with the New York Giants and the Chicago Bears. The Bears are favored by 5.5. I don't know about that spread. 5.5 is always a number that scares me because it's not a touchdown. It's not even close to a touchdown really. But just picking a winner here, I don't see how the Giants come away with this. I think that with, the pressure that Pittsburgh was able to get on the Giants last week, Saquon's not going to be able to run the ball very well. Daniel Jones isn't going to have a lot of time. I'm going to pick the Bears to win this one here. And Trubisky's going to, keep on where he left off in week 1.
I still don't trust Trubisky. I like what I'm seeing out of Danny Dimes. He's really coming on into his own. He really had a great end of the last season, and he picked right up on that. Obviously, he was getting thrown around a lot there against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But that defense still, showed that it was more than capable as well. And if they're more than capable, I don't think, Trubisky's going to have a field day or anything. It might be another, close one like last week, but I think the Giants could very well win this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Giants on that one. I think Saquon's angry from last week. A good bounce back game.
Yeah, sorry, Tiki.
Yeah, I like Danny Dimes too, like you said. He faced Pittsburgh last week, and it was the first game, no preseason, any of that. I mean, those games were tough. So I'm confident in Saquon in this game. I'm going with the Giants.
They definitely have the firepower, and what I will say about Danny Dimes is, he is coming into his own, and he's never really had all of his weapons healthy at the same time. So to see Ingram and Barkley and Slayton and everybody out there at the same time, that could be a really, really good offense. That could be almost like Trubisky's second year when the Bears were really humming. I could see the Giants doing that this year. It's just a matter of whether the defense can hold up. Staying in the NFC, we got the highest total of the week, over under a 54 for the Falcons-Cowboys game. This is a really, really good game. I feel like every game the Falcons play is going to be a really good game, just because it's going to be totals of 70 and up. But I just think that it's the Atlanta defense. I think it's going to be another one of those, 35-34 games, but Dallas is probably going to come away with it just because they're more consistent on defense. The weapons on both teams are outstanding. I'm not going to say that, they're head and shoulders better than the Falcons, but I think just the Falcons defense has proven time and time and again that Matt Ryan can throw for 450 yards and we can still lose. So I'm going to go the Cowboys.
Yeah, I took the Falcons last week. I'm taking them again this week. A little just not enough in the gas tank last week to get enough points, but they were right there with the Seahawks all game long. That Matt Ryan is just absolutely lighting it up right now with Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. I think we're going to see more of that.
Even Russell Gage.
Against a Cowboys team who is not. They're one of the hardest teams to predict.
They are, yeah.
Without Van Der Esch, I think that's going to be the big key, and I think that's why
true.
the Falcons are going to get just enough points to beat the Cowboys in that one.
Yeah, just like you said, I'm going with the Falcons. Have that linebacker out, man. That's a tough look. I'm pretty sure Dallas's offensive line too is a little banged up right now. I got to take the Falcons. They're putting up points, and I don't see this slowing down anytime soon during the season.
Well, you guys are ganging up on me. I feel like Kevin from last week now. But let's stay in the NFC. We got Detroit and Green Bay. I don't see how Detroit wins this game. The Green Bay defense is actually good, despite giving up like 34 or 33, whatever they did to the Vikings last week.
Yeah, that's what happens when you draft cornerbacks like every year in the top three rounds for like 3-4 years straight.
Yeah, and not any wide receiver help for Aaron Rodgers, but that's a story for another day. But I
need it.
I guess you don't need it because you got Devontae Adams catching 150.
He made me eat my words. I didn't think he was gonna do it, but he came out there with the double gun salute to all the haters. He said, "I am not finished. Sorry." I see a way the Lions win, and that's if they put up like 50 points. But I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah,
I think Matt Stafford would have to throw for like 600 yards. I like the Packers.
Yeah,
well, you admitted that from last week that you were hating on him.
I'll admit.
Yeah, there was no love for Rodgers. I mean, it was almost like he was getting a washed up label a little bit, but oh my God, vintage Rodgers last week, man. I'm Packers all day on this one.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown last week he doesn't need no stud. He is Devontae Adams. He doesn't need any other stud receivers to get the job done.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers on Fanduel, only $7,900. He's the quarterback I'm going with this week. So all you guys scrambling to get
Adams had like 14 targets or something like that.
He had like 14 for 150 and a touchdown. It was ridiculous. You're going to transition out of the NFC. Another interdivision matchup, though. We got Jacksonville and Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 7. I mean, the Jacksonville defense looks awful. However, I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill. I really actually think the Jaguars can win this game. Will I pick them to? Yeah, but I don't really know. I think it'll be kind of a shootout. Gardner's going to do some stuff. Derrick Henry's going to run for 200 yards. It's going to be like a 27-24 game, and Jacksonville's going to win.
Wow. I, like you, don't believe in the Titans all that much, but I think they're going to beat Gardner Minshew and the Jags. Sorry.
I understand. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jags on this one.
Let's go.
With Minshew, man. Mm-hmm. I like that running back too, that Robinson guy from last week.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Pretty sure they were saying too last week on offense. Even the teammates were like, "Who is this guy?" Like,
Some guys are just gamers.
Yeah, they're playing.
serious.
Especially like you have a little bit of contact in practice in these situations, but most of it is thud.
Yeah,
Besides outside the big scrimmage that each of these teams did. And even in that, you have, at the back of the mind, I'm not trying to hurt any of my players. You're trying to roll off on tackles, things like that. So it's a whole different ballgame.
yeah.
I'm also liking DJ Chark and then that rookie from Colorado, Laviska.
Oh, Chenault. I wanted us to draft him really badly. I liked him. He looks good.
Don't forget about that guy. He's going to be good.
Yeah, for sure. And then now we got Minnesota and Indianapolis. I hate this game. I hate this game so much. They seem like they're the same exact team. Just quarterbacks who are super underwhelming and throw picks when you don't need them to. I mean, if I'm going to pick, I'm probably going to say Minnesota just because they're a little more talented on offense. But you could tell me any team wins by any score, and I would probably believe you. This is going to be a weird one. It's the skull. It's the skull, guys.
Vikings all day. I have them as one of my underdogs. I've been playing that at the casino earlier when I went there. I'd like them to win this game outright. I think the defense is going to have a bounce back game. You'll lose a little. You lost a little bit there in free agency. It's tough to fill them in, especially like we were just saying.
Yeah.
Without the preseason, I think now these guys will have that communication flowing a little bit more. I don't think Paris Campbell outside of T.Y. Hilton doesn't scare me all that much. But I do like Nyheim Hines over 3.5 receptions. He had 8 last week on 8 targets. Over 3.5.
3.5 is the line?
Yeah, free money.
Okay.
And it's plus 105. Unless it was a trap.
It could be a
I'm
trap.
gonna go with Old Man Rivers on this one, man.
Oh, man.
I know, right? A shocker there. I like the speed with Paris Campbell and Ty. I mean, he's still quick. He's still good.
Yeah.
I think they figure it out this week. And then Hines, dude. Hines is sweet. Jonathan Taylor. Hopefully we get a full dosage of him today. I think he can have a major impact on the game.
Yeah, no, especially, he was going to be a fantasy stud or rookie, great player no matter what at some point during the season. Marlon Mack's injury just makes that happen so much faster. So he's another one of the guys I'm targeting in FanDuel. Real bargain. He's under $6,000. So, if you guys are doing your FanDuel lineups, like I said, Rodgers and Jonathan Taylor are 2 guys you're going to want to put in there. Next, this is my survivor pick of the week. Despite all the injuries the 49ers have, 49ers Jets, the Jets are basically matching them injury for injury right now. I don't think there's a lot to say. I'm amazed the 49ers are only favored by 7. It should be an easy dub for them.
That's why, injuries. But, yeah, I'd like the 49ers still to go in there with Jimmy G, get it done. No Kittle, which is huge for that team. He does it all for them.
Yeah.
But I still think they have too much talent as opposed to that Jets team that we saw last week. They looked abysmal.
It's going to be back-to-back weeks that Jets O-line is just going to be manhandled.
In tough shape, yeah.
Yeah, it's 49ers all day on this one.
Without Kittle, it's making me want to revisit my survivor pick, but, I think it's safe. And I don't think the 49ers are that good, to be honest. Don't think Jimmy G is good enough to beat the good teams. So if there's a week I'll use him, it's this one, I think. I'm probably wrong. I never win these things. Rams, Eagles. This one's kind of an interesting one. I keep hearing, on the fantasy shows I'm listening to, the Eagles' defense is good, guys. We can't just play the Rams receivers. The Eagles' defense is good? I didn't know that. I'm shocked. They get Darius Slay and suddenly they're a great defense again. I don't know. They're really not. They don't have a super talented team, honestly. I feel like they're overhyped still just because they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago with a different quarterback. I'm going to take the Rams beating the Eagles this week.
Yeah, I think that Eagles Super Bowl was a hot fraud.
Yep.
I don't think they're built for long-term success. Carson Wentz is just so iffy. He got sacked, what was it, 8 times last week to that Washington football team defense. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Try to name all those guys that had sacks. But I think the Rams have a resurgence this season. I think they're going to have a very good year. Mm-hmm. I'd like them to win it.
Yeah, we're going with the Rams on this one. I was saying earlier that highlight of Aaron Donald against the Cowboys last week, just pinballing those linemen and smacking Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fun, Carson Wentz. This Philly team, I think they're way too overhyped. I think Rams get it done.
And next up, maybe the other team I would go for a survivor pick, Pittsburgh and Denver. Denver without Cortland Sutton still. Pittsburgh still having the best defense in the NFL, debatably. I think the Steelers get this done pretty handily. It's probably going to be a very similar game to the Giants game last week for them. They're probably going to win by 10, and it's probably never going to seem too close.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think that's an easy pick.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's easy. One might be a little less easy. How are the Bucs favored by 8.5? I know the Panthers' defense is terrible, but no Chris Godwin. Mike Evans is playing hurt. Scotty Miller's the best receiver. When you take health into account of it right now. Devontae Parker just actually was announced that he's active, so just take note of that. I just got my fantasy update because he's on one of my teams. Not playing him, by the way. But I think the Bucs will win. But I don't see it being by 8.5. I think this one could be in doubt for a while. Brady looks like Peyton Manning did in his last year, and he looks like he doesn't belong in that offense. So, it's going to be a tough season for the Bucs fans.
I like Brady to have at least a little bit of a bounce back here. He's not going to look as bad as he did last week. A defense that's nowhere near as good as the Saints is. They've actually, built something legitimate there. They're trying to really win before Breeze retires, and that defense is going to probably get them there. I could see them winning the NFC this year and getting to the Super Bowl. But looking at the Bucs, I like the Bucs to win. It could be a 10-point game, and they could cover. I don't think you're going to see another bad game out of Brady. I don't like that Panthers defense. Offensively, I don't think they have enough. I think Teddy Bridgewater, might be able to put up 20 for you, but I think Brady's going to really bounce back.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bucs on this one. True, you do have, McCaffrey and then Robbie Anderson, but I think the Bucs defense plays more of a role in this game than their offense, all those injuries.
Yeah. And that actually kind of plays into the whole Peyton Manning's last year, because he kind of did get carried by the defense the last couple of years there, which, I guess that's what you expect when you're an aging quarterback. No hate on Brady as a person here. We'll save that for when I'm hating on Brady as a person. But
did you watch Antoine Winfield Jr. at all last week?
No, he looked good, I guess, yeah. Exciting game. The Washington football team and the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Cardinals win easily, but, I don't want to... I feel like Washington's going to be that team that you never want to pick against this year. The Eagles were favorites to, at least contend for that division. Cowboys are obviously, the main favorite there. But, the Washington surprise. I keep going and then I realized the football team. But, they surprised everybody last week. I think they'll put up a decent fight, but Kyler Murray looks good. So Arizona's not going to have too much trouble this week.
Yeah, I don't know. Washington's defense is pretty good. Getting all after the quarterback last week. Carson Wentz had a tough
day
getting up off the ground.
You couldn't name two people on the defense last week.
What do you mean? Jonathan Bostic, big sack, led the team with 8 tackles. Apke, you got Moreland there, Landon Collins, Ronald Darby, Pierre Louise, Ionitis, Young, Allen Curl, Ryan Kerrigan.
Yeah.
Absolutely household names in this league. I think that they have a defense that can force, Kyler Murray to stay, on his back foot, if you will, when he's running around. They have the guys to get after him. And I think the football team is going to lose. I'm going to go with them.
Give that defense some respect, Ty, saying their names. I like it, man. I like it. You got to go with Arizona. That Arizona's going to win, but it's going to be no cakewalk. That Washington defense is legit. Last week, man.
Remember how Washington and Arizona were underdogs last week, and I picked them both, and then now Kevin is afraid to show his face here?
Hey, we both picked them. I was right down there with you. I think Mark was for a couple of them.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy. Last week, I had that weird feeling on that Washington team. I was like, this defense is going to be good. But this week, it's a different story. I mean, Arizona is what Hopkins had how many yards last week? Like 150?
That sounds like a big number.
150. Yeah, he had like 14 grabs.
Not a math guy, but those are large numbers.
Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah, moving on, we got Kansas City and the Chargers. Kansas City, I guess, is without two of their starting corners, which is kind of huge. Tyrod Taylor actually showed
no chance
at all. But I'm just saying, I'm shocked that Tyrod Taylor actually made a receiver like Mike Williams, who is not the best at making separation. He made him look good. I'm kind of impressed. That being said, Austin Eckler only had one catch. If they want to have any success in this game, they need to get Eckler more involved. Kansas City's awful against running backs. But
isn't their other running back injured too? So
Justin Jackson, maybe? I'm not sure. Or Josh Kelly. Do they have him?
Their other running backs
he's going to be playing. He's from UCLA, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he could be from UCLA or Buff State. I don't care. They're losing, and it's not going to be close. Kansas City.
No chance.
No.
Yeah, Kansas City.
Yeah. Baltimore and Houston. It's not going to be close. It's going to be Baltimore. That Houston team is just not good, and Deshaun Watson needs to get out. He is too good to waste his career there. It's going to be Baltimore, and it's going to be easy.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien's just absolutely going to ruin Watson. I think he's going to get beat up a little bit today, which is going to hamper, their possibilities going forward. You got to try to keep him upright in this game as much as you can. Don't get him thrown around like Baker did last week in a 38-6 rout. I think it's going to be another big game for that Baltimore Ravens offense.
Yep.
Yeah, Baltimore on this one. Now, just the real question is who do I start, Dobbins or Ingram? Honestly.
I know the people that I listen to, the fantasy guys, are all ranking them right next to each other, so nobody knows. But
is that the answer then?
Flip a coin.
Yeah, literally flip a coin. If I wanted to guess, I would say Dobbins. Just go with the rookie.
Him in right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dobbins is heads on his 10, and then Ingram's tails. Heads.
All right.
Dobbins. Let's go. All right. We're rolling into Sunday Night Football. We got New England and Seattle. I think Seattle wins easily. I don't think Cam Newton's going to be as good as he was last week against, the worst rushing defense in the NFL after 1 week. Don't think that's going to hold up. Jamal Adams is very good at keeping an eye on the quarterback, very good at, just disrupting every aspect of the game. I think Seattle's going to win.
Sam Ponder was the only one that picked the Giants. I might have to reconsider. I
Oh,
want to be on the same side as Sam Ponder.
That's fair. Okay.
I'm pondering my decision.
What about for Patriots?
So
Seahawks?
I love Russell Wilson. Let Russ cook.
Yes,
Let
sir.
Russ eat. He's just tearing. He's going to tear it up this season. I think he's going to continue to run it up. I don't like that Patriots defense all that much. I think he's going to be shredding him. They're going to look like Swiss cheese out there. You're going to get one of those Bill Belichick press conferences or we had to tackle better. We got to cover better. And I think
you gotta give him that smirk he does too when he's just angry. He's like that weird smirk. Yeah, Seattle on this one, man. Like you said, that defense, they don't have because they opted out.
Yeah.
Cam Newton is definitely not gonna be running on this Seattle defense.
No way. And they're not the defense they used to be, but they're good enough to hold an aging Cam Newton in check, I think. And Russell Wilson is so good. So this might be the year he finally gets an MVP vote. He's so good. Which is still ridiculous that he's never gotten one.
Yeah.
Last game of the week, we got Saints without Michael Thomas at the Raiders. That's just so depressing. Like, Michael Thomas is so fun to watch. He's so fun to look at his Instagram. And now he's not going to be, putting shady comments everywhere about how he's better at running slant routes. Saints are going to win, but it sucks that the best receiver in the game isn't going to be out there with them.
Yeah, I still like the Saints to win this one. Going to be real cool, though, getting to see that stadium open up in Vegas. Wish we could have got out there for that Bills game this year, but not going to be able to do it with the COVID around. So I mean, I guess I could like last minute and then just be like, oh yeah, I gotta quarantine for 2 weeks from work when I get home, which I guess is a kind of good thing. Like I don't know, like I wouldn't mind sitting at home for 2 weeks. Like I could just watch the all 22s all day long. Like,
I mean, when they finally come out,
nice lifestyle. Yeah, they were only like a day late. Whatever.
Yeah, 36 hours. Mark, last game of the week.
No Thomas, no problem.
Yeah.
Kamara. Maybe Emmanuel Sanders has a decent game, you know. And then who's the second game? Is it Torrey Smith or am I wrong?
Traquan Smith.
Traquan Smith.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's basically Ted Ginn light.
Too. Jared Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. New Orleans. Sorry.
There's a lot of the games this week. It's just like it's so easy to pick them, honestly. But bringing it full circle, Bills at Dolphins. We'll go score predictions. Ty, why don't you kick this off here?
So I went a little bold last week, went 38-10. I mean, if Josh doesn't fumble, that's an easy 38-10 at the very least.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to hear it. Kev thought I was crazy too, then. It just seems like I'm crazy sometimes, but I keep being right, so how crazy am I, you know? I don't know if we're going to see as big of an offensive output this game. At least early on. I think they'll figure it out as the game goes on. I think they're going to wear on them. They'll be able to hopefully get that offensive line, you know, getting some good pushes, get forward on that run game. 30th in the league in rushing efficiency last week. You want to improve on that, especially a team with that offensive line combo last season did pretty well with the run. So hopefully improve on that a little bit. Should open up that play action game, which Josh did very well with last week. Hopefully you can hit 1 or 2 bombs, maybe over the top, finally get the top fully off the defense. Would love to see that. But I'm going to go a little bit more conservative. I'm going to say 27-13. I still think they get the cover.
Yeah.
And I think that's sitting right just on the under there.
Mm-hmm. Mark?
Yeah, I'm going a little bit bigger than last week.
Whoa!
30-10. It's not by much.
Yeah.
This week I think 34-13.
Okay.
I do believe they're going to clean up a lot of the things from last week. Right out the gate, we were scoring.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to build off that. Like I said, clean up those little mistakes. Allen, stop fumbling, please. Getting this running game going, too. If we could see an emergence from, you know, Singletary and Moss on this one, this score is they're going to run it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just Fitzpatrick screwed.
Yeah, so I think the Dolphins are going to be able to put up some points. You know, missing the linebackers matters. It really, really does. You know, I don't think the win is in doubt for me. I don't think it's going to be to a point where we're worried about the game. Maybe early on, maybe the Dolphins get a quick score first and take advantage of the middle of the field. But I think the Bills are going to win 30-17. You know, probably points for the Dolphins coming on late. But, you know, McDermott's going to want the Bills to clean up 2 things. Leaving points on the field, and they're going to want to give Tyler Bass an opportunity to redeem himself. And I think that, you know, they're going to do both of those things pretty well. And, you know, we're not going to leave as many points on the field in the red zone. 30-17 Bills. And that hits the over. So I think we're in for a good one.
My favorite thing now is hearing the commentators, especially on Sunday Night Football. You get the and it's the score is currently at 40. I know there's some of you still wondering. You just get those little ones like in jest, and like that flies over the head of most fans. So like any true degenerate already knows what the line is. So as soon as you hear the score, you're like, oh sweet, I don't have to do the math. Like, oh, this is close. Like I already knew it was close, but geez, like this could happen any second. Like it just makes it so much more fun. Gives you that extra element. I'm glad they're finally embracing it.
They get those sly comments in real quick.
Especially you had Al Michaels talking about. Was it Michelle Tafoya's? She had a pick 6 at the Hollywood Park for 5 figures as a 10-year-old. Like that's insane.
No, those are the memories that last a lifetime. Gambling memories, and you know, I remember when I hit my first parlay. It's like when I had my first beer.
Especially when they go wrong, you remember them.
We don't want to talk about those though. Those hurt. I'm good on Fanduel. I'm up on Fanduel for the first week and a half of the season though. So that's what matters the most right now. Got a few lineups I still got to put in. So we're gonna get out of here. Gonna give all of you some time to get to your tailgates, your parties, your couches. It takes me a long time to get there. And I always forget my phone charger. So don't be like me. And also, maybe be like me and get some Picassos for this game. Support local businesses, support Picassos. The way they put Parmesan cheese on top of the pizza and it gets baked, oh my God. It's so good. It's so I'm bad at describing things, so just go get it and describe it for yourself, okay? Just do it. Go get some Picassos, say Trainwreck sent you. I don't know if you'll get a deal, but, it'll make us look good, so thank you. Ty, any closing thoughts for Bills Mafia here going into this game against the Dolphins?
Squish the fish around LA.
Mark?
Hopefully there's more Bills fans than Dolphin fans down there. That would be quite sight.
There might be. And guys, don't forget, we got a giveaway going on right now. We're going to announce the winner later tonight during Sunday Night Football. We got a signed Tremaine Edmonds jersey, $25 Picasso's gift card, Trainwreck Sports t-shirt, and a limited edition Week 2 poster from Left Turn. It's designed by Dylan Nowak. It is a beautiful poster. It's sold out in less than 48 hours, and there's only 75 copies out there. They're all hand-numbered. You're going to want that poster. Ty, thank you for the demonstration there. That was really great. You held it nice.
Yeah, make sure you get one throughout the entire season. They just sold out of the full season tickets they were doing for it to get a hold of every single one. So you got to buy them individually right now. But I saw the design for the LA game.
Yeah,
I'll show you guys as soon as this live broadcast is done. It's unbelievable. My man Greg is trying to send one to at least every state in the Continental. He's got about a dozen left, so let's check those off the bucket list.
Oh man, yeah, no, and they do great work for local artists and everything too. So definitely you want to get your hands on those posters. Even I screenshot it and set it as my phone background just to keep me hyped up for the game all week. So do that every week, and that can be your reminder to get that poster. But until later tonight when we announce the giveaway, won't be hearing much from me. For Ty, Mark, all of Trainwreck Sports, let's go Bills.